Do you or a loved one suffer from wrist soreness or chronic nerd neck? You may be entitled to 6 minutes of YouTube content that could help solve these problems. The physical toll competitive gaming can take on the body is widely known, but not frequently discussed. For the young, the body seems to be an invincible and forgiving vessel for late-night scrims, streaming, and chips, both the rings kind and the potato kind. But as we get older, it becomes more and more crucial to take care of that chip-winning vessel, especially for our pros. In this episode of R&D, we look at what causes injury and how to prevent it. Get ready to stretch.
You can get injured playing video games. We know it happens, but it's a different type of injury than you get in traditional sports.
The main thing that we like to monitor for our athletes is we need to monitor load, like how much stress is being placed on the muscles that are repeatedly being used by gamers.
Our hands and fingers were not developed to do small repetitive motions in awkward positions day after day after day. And so what happens is you get these micro tears in your tissue.
How are they holding the controller? Are there specific binds that they use that bias these movements a lot, flicking left a lot? So we see specifically in Call of Duty issues of muscles and tendons. So the muscle here is muscle controlling the thumb, performing this motion. We call it a thenar muscle strain. And then we also see pain along this side. And it's a tendon issue here.
Tendinopathy or tendinopathy spectrum disorders, you may have heard it referred to as tendinitis, is when you have an increased load on the tendon but not enough capacity for it. You're essentially asking the ropes that are your tendons that connect your bones to muscles to do more work than they're technically capable of doing.
When I went to chiropractor, they said my wrist muscles weren't very good because I'm used to holding a control like that and it bends my wrist. That's not good.
Think of your muscles and your tendons as having this health bar. The more that you move your thumb, the more you click buttons, the more that you're gradually losing HP. There's things that you can do to reduce the amount of HP lost per flick of the analog stick, like having better posture, ergonomics, better physical conditioning. When you get to 0 HP, that's when your tissue becomes irritated and you feel pain.
There's this perception by players that pain is something that's kind of inevitable, and it usually indicates something that's going to force you to stop playing, which is very rarely the case.
If you have wrist or hand pain after a gaming session, you have an untreated injury. One of the best ways to prevent it is warming up before playing video games.
We have been doing stretches every day just to stop any hand injuries, you know. Everyone calls them the money makers. If our hands get injured, we're done playing.
He spotted him! Oh my God, fancy again!
We'll start off, we'll just be pressing it and stretching it out. You go for every single finger.
By doing small segmental movements of your hands and wrists, you're activating those small muscles, bringing more blood to the area, increasing the flexibility, allowing the enzymes to work faster and the nerves to work faster. So not only are you preventing injury, you're allowing yourself to perform better because everything's moving quicker.
You have an issue here. We'll give you 2 exercises. One, you're just moving your thumb up and down like that.
Touch all the way to your pinky finger and back out and stretch.
You can essentially do finger extension just like that.
And then wrist, if I can do it here. So you push it back and then the other way.
If you take off the finger components here like this, you're able to do thumb abduction. This is a movement that's typically used when kind of manipulating the joystick.
All the bros understand this. We're at the gym, we're doing our wrist curls, we're building strength of our forearm muscles and building the endurance.
Even though the hands are the money makers, it all starts with how you sit. Let's look at some of the problems caused by poor posture and ergonomics and some possible solutions from the experts.
Ergonomics really refers to kind of how your setup is structured around your posture and how that setup then supports you in good posture.
The typical posture that we're all familiar with is the rounded shoulders, forward head. We've affectionately called this nerd neck. When the head goes forward and when the shoulders become rounded, it causes a lot of tension in the muscles of the chest. It also causes tension in the muscles of the neck. When either of those muscle groups are shortened, they can compress on the nerves that run down into the arm.
Some of the things that we often see as issues involve trunk posture, kind of leaning forward, placing your forearms on your thighs, rounding your back. That's a lot of fatigue on muscles that aren't necessarily designed to take that much load.
The first symptoms that people will usually notice with things like this is numbness and tingling. They might notice that they've slowed down as a result. They're not able to aim as quickly. They're not able to perform the same mechanical skills that are required of them.
There are positions that are better and there are positions that are worse, but most positions are ones that you can train for.
What you want to do is make sure that your feet are flat on the ground, both feet flat on the ground. Your hips are slightly above your knees or at the same level. Pitching your shoulder blades down and out and engaging your core. I know in Call of Duty we're all sitting like this, right? If that is how you perform, I'm not saying professional players completely change your posture because it's going to affect your performance. But all of the other times you're sitting, do a posture check.
Everyone knows gamers do not have the best posture, and I think I'm definitely someone that shows that. I'm trying to work on it, but that is something that's going to take years.
There's things that you can do to recover or restore that HP. You can rest, you can massage, you can take medication, sleep, ice, maybe eat some better food. But the bigger picture is, what's the actual size of your health bar? We can improve that. We want to get them to 1 million HP so they can play for longer with less pain, with less worry about their health.
These things, I'm telling you, you deal with them now, you will not face the injuries and the plagues of back pain that affect everyone down the road.
We like to make jokes here at R&D, ones I'm sure that everyone, especially anyone inclined to leave a comment, will think are funny. But injury is no laughing matter. Injury prevention can save you a world of pain and downtime if you just follow some simple instructions. For God's sake, people, don't play through the pain. Never play through the pain. Go to a doctor! Please. This has been Call of Duty League Research and Development presented by AimLab.